What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name is Greg. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever else you're into, whatever. Happy holidays. All right, so what I'm doing for you guys today is I'm going over some of the most recent changes in 2020 that are going to be like new things that are going to be heavily affecting us as drivers. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is crazy, just crazy. So yeah, let's jump right into that. But before we get going, almost burped, I'm going to tell you guys about an awesome service called Cargo Snack Box. Cargo Snack Box is a super legit box that this company sends you for free, filled with snacks, goodies, a bunch of awesome stuff. You sell it to your passengers, you make more money. So go do that nighttime driving when everybody's stoned and drunk and they want a Snickers bar, and you upsell it for like $80. Make a massive amount of money. The top earners on Cargo reported earning over $300 a month. Link in the description. If you're serious about this stuff, you're gonna go sign up right now because money talks. Right on. All right, let's get into this. So this is almost like one of my should you quit videos, but it's really just going to be crazy informational. I just did a ton of research on a lot of the changes that are happening in the gig community right now with Uber and Lyft. A lot of this stuff affects DoorDash. It affects Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub. Why are there like 80 delivery companies? So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the biggest thing is there are going to be a ton of gig industry limitations. So these are most effective in New York and California right now, but there's a lot of other states that this is going to be happening in too. So what does this mean? It means that like basically the states are taking up action against a lot of these companies, and they're saying like, hey, if you're going to be having these people out here like this, they need to be employees. They need to be making at least minimum wage. They need some level of benefits, and this is going to create a just freakish influx of problems. And I'm going to go more and more into that. It sounds like a good thing. I promise you it's not. So what's been happening recently with Uber? Well, Uber laid off 430 employees in their tech division. That is the second round of layoffs they did. They released a statement saying that they were thinking it was going to bring back an edge to the company. If anybody would like to enlighten me on what the flying F that means, go for it. So yeah, they did that for an edge. It was the second round of cuts. So what this all, the reason why I bring this up in general is that what these gig industry limitations are going to do, they're going to do a lot of things. So like a lot of the things they're trying to do, and I know they're doing this right now in Manhattan, New York, I believe, is like during slow times, they're going to only allow a certain amount of drivers in an area at a time. There's also going to be certain parts of cities, and again, right now it's just bigger cities they're talking about it, but eventually, I mean, that's what they've always done. It starts with the big cities and then it rolls out across the nation. So the other thing is they're going to have certain zones where if you're in this zone, you're going to be required to have a passenger in vehicle 70% of the time, and if you don't and you exceed that time or whatever, however it would work, your app will automatically shut off and boot you out of the area. And you'd have to drive to a different area where it's supposedly increased demand. And that's not like a huge deal because like I really see that more happening. Like I see that more of being like a Monday through Friday from like 9 a.m. till 2 p.m., you know, like the slowest hours of the weekdays. Now, here's the problem with that. There's a lot of people that aren't grinding their freaking life away on these apps like a lot of us are, and they only do Uber and Lyft maybe for like 3 hours from like 10 a.m. till like 1 p.m. and then they go pick their kids up from school or something, and for them that extra $40-50 4 days a week is a huge game changer for like paying their bills, getting groceries. And so if they're restricted from doing that, it creates a problem because not everybody is doing Uber and Lyft so that they can not everybody's doing Uber and Lyft so that they can make $1,000 a week. Not everybody's doing it 50 hours a week. A lot of people are doing it 5 hours a week, and they don't care if it's the slow times or not. They don't care if they make 13 an hour or 40 an hour. Obviously, they'd prefer 40 an hour. They just need to be out there to make some money. And if they're working, maybe they work nights, maybe they work third shift, and they go to work from 3 p.m. till midnight or whatever it is. There's so many other people that this is going to affect like crazy. Like, I don't feel like that side of things will affect me that much, but it will affect a lot of us. So the problem with these benefits and the minimum wage stuff happening, because most of you are probably like, that'd be awesome if we're guaranteed at least minimum wage, like then you don't have a lot of risk. Here's the problem, is that for them to do things like that, it raises their operating costs by up to 30%. These are two companies, Uber and Lyft, that are broke right now. They are like broke, right? And so how are they going to do that? I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I was trying to analyze, like, okay, so let's say that like the states force them to do this. Like, they're forced to raise operating costs, or they're forced to guarantee minimum wage, benefits, and all these things that would cost them that much more money. How are they going to do it? I can guarantee you that the way they would do it would only hurt us. I can almost promise it, because if it hurts the customer too much, they lose business. What are they never really at risk of? Losing too many drivers. There's always going to be an influx of new drivers. The second a group of college kids turns 21, they think this is a dope gig for making extra money. And for them, if they can go out and make 13 an hour whenever they want, versus them working right out of college at a Starbucks or as a bartender for 11 an hour or whatever it is. I'm just like literally throwing things out there right now. You see what I'm saying though? There will always be new drivers. So they know that, yeah, they might lose a ton of us veteran drivers if they really make some crazy changes. There will always be new drivers. That's why I've always thought going on strike and stuff with Uber and Lyft as a driver was kind of pointless, because they don't care. They don't care, but like, you've also got to understand they're broke. Like, they are beyond broke. I've said this a million times. Uber in their last quarter was something like negative $600 or $700 million. So how the heck are they going to then offer all of that to us? They can't. And that's the side where, as drivers, we do kind of have to understand, like, that's our employer, and that's just where they're at. It's like we can whine and moan about it, and I'm like literally speaking to myself here. Like, I am the king of getting mad at them. All we want, they can't do anything, and they're not going to change anything. So the other things that would change, so there would be certain zones where you would have to ride, where you'd have to have a ride like 70% of the time. There would be certain areas in general where you could only work 64% of the time. What's really going to happen is driving is going to be very, very annoying, because if you get rides that go into these areas and then your app is automatically turned off, you can't give consecutive rides for one, which is the best way to really make money when you're giving back-to-back rides. That's really when you're doing your highest like per hour earnings. So stripping all that away is going to cause a massive problem. All right. So some other changes that happened. I'm here in Arizona. I don't know if this has happened anywhere else, but here in Phoenix, we are not allowed to do airport rides anymore. Something happened with this new train system. I think that's what it was. Don't hold me for that. That they installed. I guess the airport's trying to drive traffic towards that. So for Uber and Lyft rides, they would have to do an additional $4 service fee for every single ride out of the airport and into the air. I don't know if it's into the airport, but out of the airport for sure. So Uber sent me an email and basically said, hey, we're not about that. So unfortunately, we're not going to do airports anymore. That was very disappointing for me, because I'm a big fan of airport rides. So now I think people will get clever. I think they'll find a way to just take one of those buses to, like, maybe even they just go to the rental car station and everybody's just going to be getting picked up there. There's going to be a lot of ways that people will get creative. But my point is that the apps in general And just doing stuff with Uber and Lyft is getting more and more and more annoying. And I just don't know how long it'll go on before we hit a point where we're just like, I just don't really want this anymore. So, but look into these articles more for yourself, guys. There's a lot of details, a lot of stuff that honestly was so complex. I just didn't feel comfortable talking about it because I don't have a big business background. I don't know how these companies work, So I'm just going off how I interpret things. If you want the full information, just Google biggest changes coming to Uber and Lyft in 2020. That's the easiest way to do it. Google that. It's the very first article. I believe it was conducted by a company called Business Apps or Apps Business, something like that. And it's really comprehensive, really deep, and it's going to give you guys a lot of really awesome info about what's really, really going on here. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Those are some of the bigger changes coming, along with everything else I've talked about in the past. The future of where we will be as drivers is a little shaky. So might be a good idea to start really game planning a better next step for yourselves. But anyways, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video. I will be in touch with you guys soon.